All right. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, Claire. Hello, girl from Mars. Joe. Can you hear me? Not happy with that. How about that? Is that better there? Can you see me? Can you go on the Twitter? Can you go on Twitter? Let's unplug this because we're not lighting this up anymore. Hello. Hello, everybody. Let me maybe button myself up so I look my best. Thank you very much. Welcome to the live stream, Lewis Schaffer's live stream. Since 2025. Thumbs up. Thank you for saying you can hear me. Thank you for saying you can see me. Thank you for saying welcome. We're here in Studio 2. My living room office. It's 160 show 163, or it's 163 days, which I think means maybe it's 164 because we took one day off. So it's 106. Doesn't matter. I don't know if it matters. Maybe it matters. Maybe people argue about. Oh no, that was in show 163. He said that. But because we've had a couple of good shows. I'm in an okay mood. I'm not in an absolute great mood. I was out for a walk today, and look what I found. Probably can't see it. It's 1984. It's the book we were talking about. Do you remember the book that we were talking about? The book that we were talking about, 1980. You can't read this. It's really actually a bad title, but it says 19. Can you see that? 1984 by George Orwell, which is not his real name. I mean, not his. Let me re-say that. It's original name. I've read quite a bit of it, meaning I read a page, and I think it could be very interesting, and maybe we should all read it together. I'm going to read it in order to help my eyes because my eyes have not been that great. I got an appointment to have my eyes checked. But then they said, no, you're not scheduled. It's not going to be free. She made it seem very uncomfortable. So I said, oh, never mind. Anyway, I was a birthday out last night. I did it on catch up. It was interesting. I thought the subject is interesting. I think it's interesting because I was saying something that was different than what other people are saying. Though a lot of people, and maybe we'll see. We'll see if Judels is here today. We'll see if Lucy is here today, what they think the important consideration of the Jeffrey Epstein thing. One of the books on the list you were told to read at school. Yeah, probably. I guess 1984. Well, we'll have to see. It's an anti-communist book, which is good. Because I'm an anti-communist. I don't even know when I became an anti-communist, but I became an anti-communist. When I was growing up in New York, you couldn't even call someone a communist. It was like too extreme. And they still can't even do it now. They can't call this Mandami guy a communist. I'll call Keir Starmer a communist because that's what they are. They're not, are they Soviet-style communists? There you go. Mickey Blue. Hello, Mickey Blue. Welcome to the stream. Where are you from, Mickey Blue? And are you fat? That's something that I want to discuss. I know I'm always discussing the fat thing, but it's the hardest thing. It's like that. The hardest thing to do is to lose weight. So we can discuss that. So Mickey, where are you from? How old are you? Are you a man or a woman? Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey Mickey. Anyway, so I was talking to someone about that, and basically, what I was saying is it's the hardest thing in the world to lose weight, and it's like that program that I saw about being a hoarder. It's really hard. Warmelian is here. Hello, Warmelian. It's basically almost impossible to lose weight. It's very hard. I said almost impossible because I've lost weight. I've lost, I'm 77 now. I've lost 20, sorry, 24 kilograms. I mean, that doesn't sound like very much, but I was like fat. What is 24 kilograms? Is two is 48 plus 48 is 52.8 pounds. That's how much money I've lost. It's a very hard thing to do, to lose weight, to wear. You're right, 20 years plus I've been keeping skinny. It's really hard. And it's like this show that I saw on hoarding. I don't think I'll ever I don't know if I'll ever see it again. Once it goes, whether it's on TikTok or Reels or Face, whatever those things are, you see it. And how would I refind it? I don't even know if I could refind it. I'm not sure I could. It's almost impossible. May as well just eat a big cake and get fat then. Well, that's something that we were discussing. Yes, that's what people think. You think, you know what? But you've got to focus. I don't know how, I'm not sure I know how to lose weight. I know what I did. I know what I did, which was I exercised really hard and I cut back my calories. But is that the best way? And then my face looked horrible. It was like it had all fallen down. That was 8 years ago. I've been doing this for 8 straight years since September 2017. And now it's 2025. So it's really hard. But it's very similar to hoarding. Hoarding is like you think to yourself, and I was thinking this before, and I thought it was very interesting. You think to yourself, like, so we're inside this woman's home, and it looked like she hadn't thrown anything out, not just papers, but the place was covered in, I don't even know what it was. I don't believe in germs, but I do believe you can get sick from schmutz. Whatever that stuff on the ground was, it's not germs, it's bacteria, it's growths, it's toxins, whatever it is, it can make you sick. And her place had like 4 feet of dirt. I know some of the people here are hoarders. I consider myself a hoarder. Like, for example, here's hoarding. I found this little container. Can you see this little container that I found? I found it the other day, and I said I'll take it home. Why will I take it home? Why do I need it? And then today, I find a book. I didn't take all the books that were there, all the books, but I found a book, 1980, 1984, and now it's here. How do I get rid of it? I've got tons and tons of stuff. And so it's really hard for us. What do you guys have that you just took home and you can't get rid of? And so every single day of our lives, we find stuff, right? And every single day of our lives, we have got to, what do we have to do? We've got to maybe throw it out. We Every single day, we've got to fight a battle to throw things out. And otherwise that's how you become a hoarder. It's not natural to throw things out. We find something here's a book. What am I supposed to throw it out in the street? This book cost at Borders, it doesn't say when. It might say when in the code. £9. £9. Let's see when it was printed. The light is not that strong here. Most important thing in seeing is a good light. I'll put it under my special light here. This book was printed in 1987. So it was £9 in 1987. I don't believe that's possible. That's 40 years ago. It was £9. £9. 1989 was first published in 1989. Oh my God. Well, there you go. I mean, that's quite interesting. So I'm supposed to throw away a book, but how much do you think I could get this book if I bought it online? How much could I get for it? How much could I get for this? 1984 book by. Okay, how much? This is the video. I shouldn't look at the video. 1984. Whoops. 1984 book cost. Okay, well there you go. Well, you could buy it used for £2.86 plus shipping, whatever that is. Kindle version is 7 to 8. Maybe no one's buying books. That's why it costs less money. 7 to 10 for new copies. 7 to 10. This is 9, so maybe it's getting cheaper in the country. Let me just clear off a lot of this stuff. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. Don't look. So that's why we're all hoarders. And being fat is like being, of course we want to eat because people are like animals. We don't know when our next food is coming from. So of course we're going to eat it. We don't sit there and say, you know what, we'll save this for tomorrow. We'll eat it. We'll eat it all. Like today, and I've been a bad boy today because I weighed a little bit less. I've had two small pieces of bread, about 75 grams of bread. And then I went and had an ice cream. I was talking on the phone and saying I'm not going to eat, and then I went and had an Oreo ice cream. Girl from Mars says, I have so many books. I only collect first editions now. Yes, Joe says, in my front bedroom I have 18 boxes of all my family memories inherited from when Mum died, albums and journals created by my grand diaries. I will have to be in a mood to go through them. Exactly. That's my problem too. What do you do? How do you get rid of stuff that have meaning to you? It's the hardest thing in the world. The hardest thing in the world is to throw something out. The harder thing in the world is to deny yourself food. And that's the big problem we have. In order to, you look at somebody who's thin, maybe like Claire, and you think to yourself, oh, it's easy. But as Claire has said, haven't you said this, Claire? You spent 22 years being thin. Okay. 22 years being thin. Hold on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the flag so you can see this thing a bit better. How about that? Is that easier to see? Is that easier to see? Let me see what this is. That's there and there. Is that easier to see? Okay. I mean, I'd like a little bit of flag in the background. I don't know. I gotta look for the British flag. I've got a UK flag, and I've got an English flag. I should put one of those flags up. Thank you very much, Claire. I am hot, but I was naughty. So today, and then I went home. So I had 2 slices of bread. I've had 2 slices of bread. Made a cup of tea. I put 2 teaspoons of sugar in. It's not much. It's not much sugar, but now to justify it, I'm going to say I'm not going to go above 2,000 calories. And after this show is over, I'm going to go walk. I'm going to walk 5,000 steps. Let's walk 5,000 steps and be thin and beautiful. That's basically. It's very hard, but every single step of your life, we've got to throw things out, and we have to not deny ourselves food. Deny ourselves food. Alan Williams says, I have a centenary edition of Charles Dickens's novel. Centenary. That means it's 100 years after he wrote it. When did he write those books? So the 1960s. I mean, you'll Google it and tell us how much it is. I know, everyone nags me to go on with it, but I'll find out how emotional and to get dragged back in time. You know what I mean? I will get there. You know what, I'm the same way. I've got boxes of stuff here. I got stuff I brought from America here. From America. Why? Why? Because these are our memories. What do I have if I don't have any memories? If I'm supposed to be such a great, you know, as me, hello Kermit, as me, I have to be a huge star, and a huge star has a museum and has all the old stuff saved. If I throw out all my stuff, what happens if and when I become famous? Maybe I'm famous now and I don't even know it. Maybe, you know, how many millions of followers do do we have? Do I have? Do you know, watching this? I'm up, what am I up to, 12 million? Where are the 12 million followers that are, you know, I should respect the 12 million. Kermit says you can buy most books for about £3 online used. I use a website to buy books for my dad. And they also give books to schools and book clubs for each one you buy. Yeah. I mean, books are great. Books are great. They don't want you to read them, really. They want to be able to press a button and say, you can't read that book anymore. And I think that's what 1984 might be about. I don't think they're as advanced as that. They didn't, you know, when he wrote this in 1948, they didn't have, or when it was published, they didn't have the internet. Okay. You could for at least 2 million viewers alone. I mean, but where are the two? I've got 12 million 12 million followers, but how many viewers are here? This is the thing. It's painful. But what do? We all want to be remembered. Rich people have libraries. You don't throw stuff out. That's what's so hard about throwing stuff out. I've started to sell stuff on the internet. Here's I've opened this already, and I'll show you now. I'll show you. This is this is like the stuff that I've put: a Super Dry shirt, an I Love New York shirt, a David Letterman Late Show shirt, a couple of Disney ties. There's a picture of Paul and I. But you know, it's a Gap pair of trousers that I don't wear. It's not enough. You've got to take. I don't know what do we have to do. Do we have to invite people over to the house and take Lewis Schaffer's stuff? I find it hard to go through stuff and to throw it out. It's emotional too. It's emotional. Kermit, that's what Kermit says, and you're totally right for thinking that. That it's emotional. It's really, really hard. And every time you watch a hoarding show, it is so hard. It is so hard. It doesn't seem hard with dieting, but dieting is as hard as giving up stuff for hoarding. Yeah. They were printed in 1912, the centenary of his birth. Okay. Wow. I never Google stuff during the show, though. Well, thank you very much, Alan Williams, for not Googling stuff. I mean, I Google it because I need to know the stuff that you're talking about. How much is it worth? I mean, it's not. I mean, people used to, like my son wanted to have like a library. The dreams. The dreams. He wanted to have a library. All the books. He loves books. Where did he get that from? Not from his mother. He probably got it from me. He probably got it from me. I mean, books are important. Can I Google what they are? I'm gonna Google what they are. I'm gonna Google. What is it called? It's called 1912 Dickens Centenary Editions cost. Do you think this is gonna say? Okay, I've got really good news for you. The whole set, £112. Another set, £250. Whoops. Let me just see. Shopping. This is a very good set, £1,400. Okay, so what are you going to do? So let's say Pears Editions Christmas books. I don't know whether that's it or not. Oh, well, you didn't see it. You didn't see it. Can I show it to you here? Can I show it to you here? There it is. Can you look up here? Here is the 5 set. Is that the book? That's one book. Books of, how about this one? 1,400 pounds. It could be. It could be this. It could be 14. Christmas books are only 500 pounds. That's the Christmas books. Vintage complete works of 20 books, 300 pounds. This person wants it. Well, okay. So you get an idea. You'll have to do the research yourself. Hold on a second. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. So between, let's say, 250, maybe. How many books are there? And 1,400. It's super painful. Well, anybody have any tricks for how to deal with it? How do you deal with stuff? Every little thing has memories. What I did, I'll tell you what I did. I had boxes, and I went through and I destroyed anything that wasn't a personal thing. Anything, that, like, were papers, bank papers, papers that were sent to me from the phone company. I had tons of old stuff, and I eliminated a lot of stuff, but it's still a lot of stuff. That's what I did. Anything that I had written something down, I saved. But, why do I need that stuff too? Do you love books, Lewis, or do you actually place a K where the B was and to go there, warm Elliot, about boobs? I do. Do I like books? I can't read anymore. I don't read anymore. I do read. I guess I'm reading what you're saying to me. I'm blessed to be able to read. I grew up reading. I don't know. Does anybody, do you like every book? Would I enjoy reading Mein Kampf? I'm not sure I would. So I don't like every book. It's like Believe the Science, we can discuss that in a bit too. Believe the Science. I have Canterbury Tales, Joe says. I think a 1977 gift from my great-great-grandparents to each other. Oh, my God. Well, that's something. That's something. You know what you could do? You could write your name in it, and then sell it. Clear out little by little. Keep the personal stuff, even if you put a shelf up or two. It can be done slowly. So you're saying every day? Yeah. Well, every day I try to do something, yes. And then, I bring it down to the charity shop, let's say. Let's say I have a bag like this. I think about having this much more space in my flat. I've got 2 boys here, plus me, 3 people, and plus you, under Lewis Schaffer, plus you. And I think about, that life would be a little bit better if I got rid of stuff. But then over here, like, look, I don't know whether you can see. Can you see down there on the floor? I've got what do you call those things? Frames that I found. What do I do with the frames that I found? It's hard. In regards to hoarding, Kermit says, and this is very important. I hope it's going to be important because I trust you, Kermit. Sometimes it's easier to reduce it a bit, make 10 boxes into 9 boxes or 8 boxes. Some things are easier to get rid of. Others may be easier next year. Yeah, it might be easier next year. Or, you know what? Maybe we'll be hit by a German bomb. Not a German, but yeah, German bomb. Or a Russian bomb. They're talking about, like, provoking the Russians. So, yeah. This is the thing about me, and this is maybe one of the reasons why people like me. If you do like me, I'm not sure you like me after all these shows, but is I actually think that I'm the greatest person on earth, and I deserve a museum. I deserve a museum. And then other times I think, who's going to want this? We would say chazarai in Yiddish. We would say. I wouldn't say it, but they would say it when I was a kid, or maybe I would say it in New York, possibly. Chazarai, which means pig stuff. Pig stuff. Stuff that's not important. But that's good. That's good advice. Anybody have any other advice? But that's a really good advice, Kermit. Is just, you've got 10 boxes. Let's try to make it 9. And a box is maybe 2 or 3 square feet of stuff or more. It's a box. A box. A box. A box. Warmelian says, Lewis, we are best friends now. I foresee Chat and Lewis Schaffer getting married in the near future. Mean us getting married to Chat. To Chat. I've got a greater chance of getting married to Chad. Maybe you're right. Ron Smith apologized for the conduct of my nation during the war. I don't want to know what nation it is. Is it British nation, a German nation, a Russian nation, a Jewish nation? Whatever. I also have a 4-book set of Don Quixote printed in 1766. But unfortunately, a previous owner took the illustrations out to sell separately. I love them, though. Yeah, well, Alan, that's Alan speaking. Go for it, Alan. What should we do? What should Alan... I mean, I know you love it, but, there's something so liberating about just getting rid of stuff, and you don't even remember. You don't even remember that you posted it, whatever. I think, basically. Alan, that's amazing. You have some great stuff. You got some great stuff, Alan. Yes, some great stuff. And everybody needs some great stuff. You don't even know. Like, what happens if you find a book like this? And let's say I don't read it. Am I going to keep it forever? And say, oh, I'll read it tomorrow. There's not enough time in the day. I got too much time in our day. I keep thinking to do 1 box a week, little by little. That was 8 years ago, a work in progress. I must start this. Yes, we're going to start our anti-hoarding pro-thin. We're going to do the pro-thin because I was taught, right. So just one little bit every single day. It's the same thing. Let's say you run into somebody who's fat or has a little, it doesn't even matter. Like, I lost 52.8 pounds. And how would you say to somebody? How to lose weight? I mean, I would say the feeling that I have being thin is amazing. And I think people really like me thinner. I think I'm more attractive to people. And that's a really good feeling. Sometimes you feel emotionally attached to things, Kermit says, to things that seem important today that may not feel that important in a few months. It can be heavily connected to mental health. Could you please explain that a bit fuller? What is connected? If you're not mentally well now, maybe in the future you'll be healthier. If you're not mentally well now, in the future you'll be more mentally well, which will be able to get rid of stuff. Is that what you're saying, Kermit? Yeah, maybe life will be easier tomorrow. Maybe, oh my God, we got to move. Let's get rid of this stuff. You have no choice. You got to leave it behind. Like when my parents sold their house, we had an autographed poster from, what's the guy's name? Oh my God, I can't remember. Let me see if I can remember his name. Anyway, so, I'll remember who that is. They're leather bound, so I have bits of poor cow that died before America was invented. Yeah, that's how they used to bound the books, leather cow. Jurgen the German, Ron Smith, that he was making a joke about that. About the apology for my nation during the war. It's like when I used to start my act when I was a comedian, and I'll be a comedian again. I say I'd like to apologize that I come from a country that's better than yours. I used to say this to the English people, and the English people would laugh and laugh because they didn't quite believe it. Now it's true. Now it's like, I don't know whether it's true. I shouldn't say whether it's true, but that's what it's true. The war, remember the war. So, how do we lose weight? We lose weight by saying you will be so much happier being thin. Number one. Number two, it's really hard to be thin. It's not easy to be thin. It's like unhoarding our flats, our worlds. It's really, really hard. And you ask a friend, you say, hey, what can I do to make it less hard? And it, there's nothing you can do. It's like telling people how to be less thin. Yeah, you could take that pill, you become less thin, and then when you stop taking the pill, what happens? You get fat again. You get fat again, right? So that's not a happy thought. Being thin makes you feel happy, lighter, healthier. When you catch a glimpse of yourself in the shop window, you look around at all the clothes look good. You look good. All the clothes you look good on you. Not just some, all of them, and you will also look hot. That's one reason to be thin. You just feel so much better. I'm able to wear all the clothes that I have. That's a really good point. Okay, what does Joe say? Lewis, just thinking, weight loss, clearing stuff out. We've hung on to it. It might be a thing. Deal with it accordingly, losing stuff we no longer need. The difference is when you lose fat, well, some people think that they need to be fat. I had a friend who thought she needed to be fat so that when she visited her girlfriends wouldn't be mean and jealous to her of her. She wasn't super beautiful, but she would like, and you know, her girlfriends wouldn't be worried about bringing her into their home with her boyfriend because she'd be a fat girl, and her afraid she's not they're not afraid that the boyfriend will be interested in them. I thought that was quite interesting. I like it when clothes are tight. It means I gain some muscle, Ron Smith. Or yes, or getting fat. Yeah, maybe that's right. But then again, all the clothes you have to buy when you gain a size, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. So, like getting rid of stuff. What do you do to get rid of it? Kate Gwynn comes in the room. Kate Gwynn. Kate Gwynn is here. 3XL. That means you're large, I guess. I don't even know what that is. I've become like a medium. I used to be a large or even an extra large, and now I'm a medium. I like when girls are jealous. It means you've got it. Yeah, because you're a confident girl, maybe. I don't know. My friend, she was confident too, but she just didn't care that much. She didn't really care. She didn't care. Take your stuff to a boot sale. Yes. Yes. Ron Smith, that's what I should do. Boot sale. What about selling stuff out in the street? Can we do that? Selling stuff in street. I mean, I'm one flight up, so two flights up. What do you think about that? Is that a bad thing to do? Um, so that's what I'm going to think about. All right, we're all here. Anybody else have something to say? Donate some, sell some, throw some away. Yes, donate some, sell some. Yeah, yeah. I mean, but this is stuff. Who's going to want my papers? Nobody. You know what I mean? Throw some away. Yeah. Is that what to do? Donate stuff. Donate, sell, give. Yeah. Mary Kondo. I tried going through stuff during lockdown, but got nowhere. It made me physically upset to think about throwing those things away. Yes, it does, Kermit. Away. Things may be attached to you, to relationships. You may not be totally mentally over, or you just want to have a memory of this stuff. Even if you are over it, you want a memory. This is what I did at this time. What else do we have? Especially that I'm 68 years old. What else do I do at this time? Sell it in the street. I'm not going to say like where, but yeah, I mean, to me, I don't mind selling stuff that is just stuff, but I do mind things that have some personal attachment to, which is everything. Come to think of it, everything has attachment, a personal attachment to. Okay. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna donate, sell, give. We're gonna maybe look at a boot sale, not a boots sale, a boot sale. We'll go to a boot sale. We're gonna work gradually. We're gonna work gradually. Okay, a little bit every day. Is that right? What do I do with all my mom's teaching school aids, books, and leaflets? Bonfire, or what the government should be doing now? Does any of the stuff? Is it your mother's writing? This is the thing, and it's so interesting from the 1950s. Maybe there's a museum that would look after this stuff. Maybe there's a library. Maybe you could drop it off at the library, possibly. Maybe that's where it should be. Okay, it might be worth keeping, says Ron Smith. Mom was a teacher. So was my mom back in the 50s, too. That's the kind of job that women could do. I think Joodles and Lucy don't want to be my friends anymore. Mom was a teacher. Yeah. So what value do you think that they have? What value do they have for you? What value do you think that they might have for other people? Is that the question to ask? What does Kermit say about that? About what Joe's problem is? You know, what value do they have? What value do they have for Joe? What value do they have for other people? Basically, these are good questions. If you guys can like the stream, everybody like the stream. We got 30 people watching. Let's like the stream. If it's related to family, we have to consider if our children or grandchildren would be interested in that at some point in the future. They probably would be, but why would I want to burden my kids with these boxes? I want them to be free. They don't leave the house as it is enough to go places. By the time I was their age, I'd been to 30 countries all across the world. I was rich and privileged, which is why people maybe don't like me as much, because I'm so fantastic. Literally, it's literally old school. No idea what to do with it all. Does it have anything to do with you? Does it have anything to do with your maybe save a little bit I mean, do you think that there's a law? Maybe call up the National School Museum authorities or something like that, Joe. People don't want other people's things. Yes, Kate, that's so true. They don't want other people's things. I saw a couple of videos about that. And the woman was like in tears. She wasn't in tears, but it maybe made me go to tears. She said the most shocking thing is, do you see your mom's uh, lighter collection, or ashtray collection, or crystal collection that she picked up from every country she'd ever been to on all those stupid cruises she went on? Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. I found that out with my baseball cards. I thought my baseball cards were worth a fortune. Nobody wants it. But in my mind, they're worth something. You are right. Okay, nobody wants other people's things. But is it not just other people's things? They're not. Maybe they do want it. They just don't want to pay for it. They don't want to slip it around. You know. I don't know. I don't know, Joe. Maybe give them to a library. Maybe they may be interested, Alan. That's what I'm thinking. Yes. This Alan says they don't. Maybe give it to a library. Maybe call up a library and say, I've got boxes of stuff. And they'll probably say, no, you're out of your mind. Unless they're famous. Unless who's the guy who wrote Catcher in the Rye? What's the guy's name who wrote Catcher in the Rye? He gave all of his stuff. He wrote one book, and then could write another one. Trucker from Reno, but he's not from Reno, but he's in, I don't think, are you really from Reno? You're not really from Reno, you're English. And you're living in Thailand. When there was very little stuff, people wanted more stuff. Now, everyone has lots of stuff. No one wants it. That's exact. J.D. Salinger, Kate, thank you very much. I appreciate. There you go. Joe says J.D. Salinger. You're from Liverpool. That is exactly true. Our natural tendency. It's not even when we don't know we have too much stuff. We're just used to collecting stuff because we've got a house here. We're not on the road. We'll just think, what's the harm in taking it? We think stuff is important. We think stuff is important. And certain faiths think stuff is more important than other faiths. My faith thinks that stuff is really important. Julian is here. Hello, Julian. Welcome back. American Werewolf in London, The Slaughtered Lamb, Rick Mayall, and Jenny Agutter, First Crush, Excellent Flick, or Cash, American Werewolf in London. Is that what we're talking about here? I don't think it is. Or maybe it is. Yay, a Scouser, like the lovely Leanne. I miss her. She was here last night. Leanne came in for a little bit of a visit. It's really hard when it's family-related stuff because you just don't know what your offspring or their offspring would love to see. Personal items from their great-grandparents one day. Yeah, like yes, I don't have much stuff. Here's a picture of my grandfather. At least I think it's my grandfather. It may not even be my grandfather. It could be my great-grandfather. Let me just see what this thing is. Okay, it could be that. It's 1940. It's my grandfather. He's 46 years old. In 1940, on Saturday, August the 10th, 1940, in Brooklyn. Can you look what Brooklyn is? Can you look at Brooklyn? That's my grandfather. Brooklyn, New York. Benjamin Gold. Benjamin Gold. Okay, that's that. Let's leave that over here. Yes, yes, so you're right, Kerma. We don't know what people will like. We don't know. That's my problem. I said it to Ant. He has to have a look now. The problem is, okay, I have to have a look now so I know what I'm doing. So you're asking your kid, what are you going to do? What am I going to do with this stuff? And what does a 22-year-old know? What does a 20-year-old know? Or 30? They don't know. You don't know. And do they have place? And are they going to move this stuff from place to place? And all my son is saying to me, throw it out, Dad. Throw it out, Dad. Throw it out. Throw it out. He's handsome. Yeah, he was a handsome man, my grandfather. Handsome. He fell into alcoholism toward later on in life. Maybe not even later on in life. It's so hard, Joe. Aunt may not care, but who's to say his kids won't care, or the grandkids? And that's what we want. And we want to leave a legacy behind, Kermit. That's what we want. MC Scott. Okay, you're here. Welcome to the thing. Everybody, a round of applause for MC Scott. That's the question that we have. That's the question. Okay, everybody, we're doing good. Are we That's what we're gonna do. I'll be back in a second. I've got a cup of tea that's waiting for me. Okay? Remember to like it. Marianne is here. Like and subscribe. I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. And your son said chuck it all out. And he's 23, and who knows? Mustn't stress over it. Yes, that's true. We all need big basements like we used to have, and then those get flooded, and you regret that, like our U.S. cousins. But the reason why they have big basements in America, do you know why they've got big basements in America? Because the ground freezes and it gets so cold, and that's what keeps the house from not falling down. That's what a basement does. And then, like my dad, he made the basement a play area and a storage area. He did a good job, my dad. Unloved, my father, unappreciated. I never even thought about it. My father did that. God bless my father. We need big basements like our U. Yes, that's what Kermit says. Yes, I did. It's ridiculous banning material that promotes free speech. I forgot. I didn't know what that question. Your legacy is your children, not the stuff, says Kate Gwynn. That is such a good point. That's a really brilliant point. Really brilliant point. Um, I'm making, thanks for reminding me. I made the timeline better. Um, yeah, so there you go. I'd like to be, yeah, I tell you what I brought in. I found this. I don't even know what this stuff is. I found this in the street by Nunhead Cemetery. Can you see that? Can you see what that is? Whatever that is. I found 3 of them. They might be they're probably completely worthless. Well, maybe they're worth something. We need big basements. Okay, let's get back on track. Sorry. But what spiked film? What is the spiked film? I didn't hear about that. Because I wanted to discuss that with you guys today. That was the most important thing. This COVID bull thing. This COVID thing. $200 million to basically to tell people that they should have been more afraid earlier. That's what the whole thing was saying. I'm not sure that's all it was saying, but how many performers do you think are so confident that they would wander off to make a cup of tea mid-show? Yeah, is that confident? I don't know if that's confident. We're here. I mean, because this is not really a show. Is it a show? It's more, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I do appreciate you being here. I do appreciate that. But I need a cup of coffee. I'm a bit more tired than I normally am. Than I was yesterday, and I'd like not a cup of coffee. It's a cup of tea. It's a cup of iced tea. What kind of craziness is making iced tea? It's iced tea. It's iced tea. Let me see where we are. I don't know. I've lost the train. The more we chuck away, the more family history we lose. I'm with Kermit, but then again, how much stuff is there in the world? We can't save all the stuff. And you know what? Other people have our stuff. They'll piece it together. What stuff do I have? What do I know about my grandparents? What do I know about my great-grandparents? What do you people know about your grandparents? I never heard of putting ice in tea until I was 27. I was shocked. Yeah, it's a very American. First of all, no one would put ice in tea in November. I don't know. That's how hot this flat is. It's 24, almost 25 degrees in here, in this flat. Thank you, Southern Council. So, I mean, if it was warm, I'd have a hot cup of tea. I wouldn't even have tea. I'd have a cup of coffee. But I'm thinking it's after 6. It's almost 6 o'clock. I shouldn't be drinking anything after 6 o'clock. The COVID thing, the inquiry, was a complete waste of money when there's British vets on the streets. Disgusting. Claire, it's a waste of money. Whatever is happening, it's an absolute waste of money. Because it misses the most important point, and you know the point that I'm going to get at, which I shouldn't even discuss it with you. The COVID was a fake panic scare, whatever that is. It's not a myth. It was fake. It was the idea is let's scare people. A panic. That's what it's called. It's called a panic. It's called a panic. And it didn't, and then they say we didn't lock down sooner. Sweden didn't lock down, and Sweden has better rates than our rates had. People got sick in this country because the last few years, oh my God, now we're going to be discussing this thing. Dave, Dark Arts Dave is here. I did look into my family's last year, something like 60s, 70s in America, something like that. Don't know them. But it's like, what the hell? What are you saying, Dave? Did look into my family last year and go what? And go something like 60, 70% in America? Something like that. Don't know him. But it's like, what the fuck? Well, you're going to have to rewrite that, Dave. 67% of what? Of what? 100%. Don Aylesbury. Exactly. My great uncle Jack died 18 in World War I. Anthony was shown an interest in family stuff is important. Yeah, they died a long time ago. It's interesting. It is interesting, and eventually maybe there'll be a TV program where you'll be like shown this interesting stuff if they have any. Carbs cause COVID. They don't cause COVID, but they cause mental illness, and COVID, it was a mental illness. Carbs cause Irritation, which causes inflammation, Keith, which causes people to die, which could be misinterpreted as a separate disease from flu, and calling flu a separate disease from the common cold, which is calling the common cold a separate disease from just nose running. Milk was put in tea in the UK in the early 1900s to make workers get back to work quicker. Yes, I've heard that too. I've heard that too. I mean, it also makes it taste better, and it's also eliminates some of the oxalates, Julie, and it's also a good thing to do. To do. When I think back, only then can I see how stupid it all was. What the COVID thing? The COVID thing was unbelievably stupid, and they spent £200 million to release a report 5 years after the fact. 5 years. 5 years. That's what this country does. This is why it's a joke. It's to bury any. And why are we trusting this Hallett woman? Who is she? Why do we trust one person as a report? It's like the Warren Commission with Kennedy being shot, and people are still demanding that they release all of the Kennedy files. 60 years onward, 62 years onward. Don Ailsby says, I never wore a mask, never stayed in, never had a job. My life did not change one iota. F the lot of them. Well, Donna, my life changed a little bit, but I tried not to wear a mask, but I would go in these films and they make you wear a mask. Because they wanted to keep these films going. They wanted to keep the studios working. They wanted to keep Tom Cruise working. Or Tom Cruise wanted to keep working. You know what I mean? It's a bunch of lying, C-U-N-T Tuesdays, whatever. That's what the COVID thing is. It was a lie. And if they're going to blame Boris Johnson, then they have to blame every single one of us. Every single one of us. Every single one of us who believes in germs, in viruses, and then in vaccines that can stop a virus, in 6-foot distances, and wearing masks. Every single person is a murderer. Every single person is going, oh, I believe. And I think that's what this book, 1984, is going to say. It's going to say how people were lied to and believed the lie. Never accept the schmutz. Exactly. What is a vaccine? It's schmutz that they're putting in your arm. That's gonna make you tingle, hopefully, but might kill you, possibly, because you've just injected stuff. It's like having an open wound, and we're gonna pour schmutz into the open room. Never expect. Thank you, Warmellian, for remembering that. Sorry, I got a splinter in my finger. Dark Arts Dave. Got loads of family in America. Found out after I looked up my family history. First thing I said was, why am I still here in the UK? COVID, never again. Yeah, COVID, never again. But it's not just COVID. It's believing that they're all a bunch of liars. That they're all liars. And COVID was a massive, massive lie. And this woman is a liar, Hallett. Because the truth is, there are no germs. And germs, don't get into your system and cause you to get a disease like that. I have a photo albums from the 1970s. This is what Kermit says. Yet I lost a hard drive recently with all my photos from the 2000s. Soon our history will last only as long as our latest phone. History is becoming disposable. I agree with that, Kermit. If it is, you lose all your. I'm trying to save stuff and print stuff up and send it to places, but at the end of the day, I've got boxes of film and stuff like that. Kate Quinn says this. It affected me because I'm a nurse and I worked through it. I couldn't mentally or physically go do it again. Yeah, because that you were lied to, Kate. You were lied to. How many nurses died? Sorry, Kate, you were a nurse at the time, but how many nurses died from this? And they were right there, all those people dealing with those people, and nobody died. For the record, lots of famous people and politicians did not take the schmutz. Okay? They had injections and saline in them. Joe Biden's injection was saline. You could see that happening. Yes, of course you'd want that to happen. Yeah. Trucker from Mars, I still wear a mask and avoid Chinese people. It's better to be safe than sorry. I don't believe, it is. There's no, I don't believe. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Yes, Warmelli, and I agree with you. Joe Biden was probably saline. But look, he's been taking statins, which is the cholesterol lowering device, which is why the guy's almost dead right now, and eating a high sugary diet. Probably. Mary Ann says, when our local coffee shop had a book for customers to write their names down for contact tracing, I would put down Nancy Mitford. Laugh out loud. Why is that? She was one of the Mitford sisters. One of them was like hanging out with the Nazis. But we're not going to punish anybody for that. What does that mean, Marianne? What does that mean? Thanks, Andy, Joe says. Best mate came round with gifts and messages with Facebook from people I hadn't seen for years. So a good day, feeling popular, not a loser. No, you're not a loser. You're not a loser here, Joe. Happy birthday to you. Joe Biden was executed in 2020 at Guantanamo Bay. No, he was a piece of shit beforehand. You wish there was a new Joe Biden, but he was a horrible. I actually saw him speak in 1979. Really unimpressed. I was unimpressed I didn't even know who the guy was. And then he became president. Really unimpressed. In the original, Joe Biden sexually abused his own. Yes, I've heard that too. I don't know whether that's true or not, but I don't know whether that's true or not. Oh, Jatin takes statins. Well, I mean, I've been recommended. I'm on a drug-free diet. I do not take any more pills. I've got 3 prescriptions. I don't take them. I've been given statins. I will not take them. I am not taking any pills, even if my blood pressure is high. Let's say I have a stroke. You say he had a stroke, but I've had high blood pressure since I was a child. Okay, but I've got incredibly low heart rate. You guys know this if you're on the Lewis Schaffer Twitter page. Are you on the Lewis Schaffer Twitter page? You can see what I eat every single day. There's a picture of my dad. Right there. But Lewis Schaffer, make sure you can see it. Lewis, I meant that I was not going to comply with their nanny stateism in order to enjoy a cup of coffee. Well, I know. What can we do? We have to fight their stateism. The globalists are telling us not to eat meat. They're telling us that meat or climate change, all this stuff. It's like one lie after the other. Marianne, they're just lying. We know about COVID, says Kermit, and anyone who still doesn't just didn't pay attention. The government were having parties because they weren't scared. So ask yourself why. How many of them died? Exactly. How many nurses died? How many doctors died? None of them died. But the people who were put on ventilators, they died. The people who were given AZT during the AIDS panic died. Okay, so I'm with you, Kermit. I find it very hard to disagree with anything that Kermit has to say. Thank you, Dark Arts, for writing the other thing up again. I do appreciate that. I will never take statins. They're one of the worst things you can take. Of course they are. We need cholesterol in our body. Cholesterol is a super hard thing for the body to produce, and it produces most of it itself. And if it was, why are we producing it ourselves if it isn't important? But they want us to lower our statins. F you. I'm not taking any statins. I hope I'm going to be healthy. I hope. I'm 68 years old. Rock hard though. Nothing comes out, but I'm rock hard. I'm rock hard. So Dave, I'm with you, Dave, 100%. Dark Arts Dave is not going to take it. I got a bloody pill box for each day of the week. So do I. And you know what I put in the pill box? Day 1, I put in a magnesium, and I put in a vitamin D3, and sometimes a K2. Yeah, you got to you've got to Google it, Janet, and not the first Googles, not the first 5 whatever pages, which are all lies. You've got to watch the carnivore diet, whatever it is, Ken Berry, and you know, and who are the other guys that I watch. Yeah, and I saw a video by the guy from the pharmacy guy, and he's saying it's gotten out of hand. I think it's totally out of hand. I'm not taking any pills, and my blood pressure is super high. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go measure my blood pressure right now. You reminded me. Can you just stay here? Can you maybe make a contribution to keep this thing going? But if I were more competent, I would have maybe music playing. Dun, dun, dun. I don't know, one of those horrible songs like my HSBC thing was constantly playing. Um, yeah, how many? That's what I'm going to read that again. How many? How many of them died? How many of them got sick? Even what's his name? Even Boris Johnson. How many of them got sick? I remember I got COVID, and I thought to myself, if I'm too sick, if I start coughing, I'm going to be sent to the hospital, and then they kill me. I could see that. Kate Gwynn, her blood pressure is good. There you go. Well, what does that mean? Who can believe anything about blood pressure? They know nothing about it. They only know how to lower it. How to lower it. Okay. What else is going on? The more okay. Um Don't look at what I eat is nasty. Okay, you could say that it's nasty. I eat meat. I eat basically raw meat. I mean, today, last couple of a week or two, I've had a lot of sausages. But I eat raw meat and runny raw eggs. That's what I eat. Run. I, it didn't turn up. The CBD didn't turn up. Oh my God! I gotta check for the CBD. I'm so incompetent, but thank you very much. CBD. Check for the CBD. Thank you very much, Kermit. Okay. I've got to check I've got 3 email accounts. So I've got to check the email accounts. I'm taking my blood pressure. Can you see this? You can't see. Maybe I'll lower this so you can see me reading my blood pressure. Can you see the number here? You probably can't see the number. Can you see the number? You probably can't see the number. Well, there's nothing there. Maybe we'll see. There we go. Dark Arts Dave says eat more meat. Get some with C and D as they block the sun out. uh, with vitamins. Get some vitamin C and D as they block the sun out. These people cook food with lard. Never use sunflower oil. Yeah, I agree with you. 191 over 108. That's not great, but I'm on the radio. I don't care. I know I could lower it. I don't want to lower it, but I was taking the pills. Look at how thin I am. Look at how beautifully thin I am. Look at how great that looks. I mean, it's wrinkly, a bit wrinkly. It's not that attractive, but it's like I'm not fat. Look at that. Anyway, yes, according to Dark Horse Dave, they keep changing the blood pressure numbers. They know nothing about blood pressure. So when they say my blood pressure is good, you're just listening to the doctor. What does the doctor know? Dark Eyes Day, magnesium, vitamin C or D, pumpkin seed oil. Why would you take pumpkin seed? It's so high. It's a seed oil. It's probably really high in vitamin in omega 6 and not omega 3. Iron. You don't need to take iron. If you eat red meat, you don't need to take iron. Biotin. I used to take. You don't need to take iron. I don't. I don't think you do. I don't think you do, Lewis. Did the CBD ever turn up? It did not turn up. I've got to check my emails. Oh dear, Janet. Hope you are taking something. What is Janet? Mine is super high. As is mine. Let's go look. Are you able to see what this says? Can you read this down there? Can you read it? It's 191 over 108. I'm going to stop talking, and while we measure Lewis Schaffer's blood pressure. Here you go, 189 over 105, but at 49 beats a minute. Whose blood pressure is lower than 49 beats a minute? Everybody get your blood pressure, whatever this thing is called, the asphosphygmomanometer, whatever this is called. Get it out. Is this considered high? It's considered high. It's considered high. But if I take pills, I have side effects, and side effects are your body telling you should not be doing that. I've got what I do is I divide the systolic, okay, the systolic, and by the number of by my heart rate, and if it's under 10,000, I am pleased. Kate Quinn says I'm coming of all queer because I was showing my belly. Because I was showing my belly. Can you see this? I mean, it's not super sexy, but it's still thin-ish. And I'm getting a bit thinner. I'm going to be thinner tomorrow. I hope. I'm going to do myself one more time. One more time. Yeah, monitor it. It's good to monitor it. Yeah, so there you go. It's high. It's high. It's high. But you could say, "Hey, Lewis, of course it's high. You're live streaming. Of course it's high. You're live streaming. I mean, I'm just that I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice that I'm giving you, and you know that. Do you know that this is not medical advice? But like for me, I'm the opposite of you, dark arts, Dave. Is that my blood pressure is high, but my heart rate is low. And if you measure yourself, you might have a very high. Are you fat? That's the question to ask. Are you fat? You got to get thin, and you got to get healthy. But also, maybe there's a genetic predisposition. I don't believe in genetic predisposition, but maybe there's a genetic predisposition. But I woke up today and I was at 45 heart rate, beats per minute. So why can't I be high? I don't want to take the pills. I don't believe them anymore. I don't believe them. It should be under, Janet. Well, that's what they tell you. What research have you done? I haven't done it. You know what I mean? How could you trust these people? They tell you, oh, you've got COVID, and they were lying. So how do you know they're not lying with the blood pressure thing? Mine is high because I'm fat and drink. Yes. It's like having a fever. You don't want to lower your fever. What you want to do is you want to get rid of the germs that are in your body, whatever, or the irritation that's in your body. No, says Dark Art Days, I'm a bit underweight. Mother has heart issues, can't recall the name, but it races at times, randomly. Mine's just all the time, but I feel fine. But I can feel it. Well, is your pressure high? Dark Arts Dave. I mean, these are interesting questions, I think. Yeah, MC Scott is saying to Janet, don't. She describes herself as fat. I think that's brilliant. You want someone who, my ex-wife would go, oh, I'm not. People would come up. I'm not saying her. I'm not talking about her. But if someone comes up to you and says, "Are you pregnant?" and you're not pregnant, you shouldn't be like angry at that person for saying that. You should be saying, "Oh my God, I look pregnant. That means I'm fat." We should say, like right now, am I fat right now? I'm not fat. I've got a little bit of something that I could get rid of. I weigh 77 kilograms, 76.9 kilograms. Okay? I'm not like 10% fat. I could be 20. My BMI is 24% fat. I should have a test to have it done. I mean, I should have a test to have it done. Okay. Shouldn't I have a test to have it done? Scotty obviously likes them voluptuous if he's getting stiff. Good to know his blood pressure is okay. If you are fat, it's going to affect your blood pressure. But that doesn't mean your blood pressure is making you sick. Or are you sick and that's why you've got high blood pressure? That's the question. I'm not taking any more pills ever, ever, ever again. I'm going to be as thin as I can be. And there's no reason why I have a sick body. If I eat the right foods, I'm going to be okay. I believe that. Anyway, so I think this has been a good show. What have we discussed on this show? We've discussed COVID. We've discussed hoarding. We've discussed blood pressure, right? Okay, yeah, it might be the pressure part that is high, as you say. I'm not your age and looking that good. I'll be pleased. And thank you, I'd be pleased. Not that you are old. You're saying you'd be pleased if you looked as good as I look at 68 years old. I appreciate that too. And there was a point when I looked horrible, when I had full psoriasis. I was covered in dandruff. Can you see any dandruff? Here, look, I'll scratch my head. Nothing's coming down. That's a sign you're not healthy. My feet hurt. I had gout. I had plantar fasciitis. All this stuff. Annoying when you've given birth and run into people you haven't seen for ages and they ask if you are pregnant. It's a thing. It happens to many women. Yes, it does. If you had a baby and someone said, I heard you had a baby, are you still, you know what I mean? Yeah. We're a horde of hoarders. And it's hard sometimes if you're Scotty or Lewis. We are hoarders. We're food hoarders. We're medication. A doctor gives us medication and it's free, or relatively free. £9 a prescription is almost free in America. And we're going to believe him because I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor. They're doctors. They're idiots. My ex is slim and never drinks and smokes and exercise, but he still has pressure. Yeah, so maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's not a problem. That's what I'm saying, but don't listen to me. Please do not listen to me. I am hoarding now in case the UK goes to civil unrest. Well, that's not hoarding. That's just preparing. You know, what are you getting extra stuff? Yeah, maybe that's what you need to do. You need to get extra stuff. I remember during the COVID thing, trying to find toilet paper. Used to walk down to the Asda with all this, and I never wore a mask. I never wore a mask. I'd go in there and they'd stop me and I'd go like this. Like that. That's all you need. And they would go, oh, okay, maybe because I was old. Maybe because I was old. Janet says, is Joodles here? Did Joodles come in just to say hello? Cheat a chest infection cure. A bulb of garlic, chop up the clove, take every half hour with a glass of water until the whole bulb is gone. No. What? No. Garlic, no. No. No, I don't believe in any of that stuff. I don't believe in that stuff. The thing, if you've got a chest infection, is not to cough, even though you want to cough, number one. Number two, warm, hot baths. My ex-girlfriend was fat and she looked great, Russ says. The only problem was that I kept getting my bum burnt on the light bulb. My ex-girlfriend was fat and she looked great. The only problem was that I kept getting my bum burnt on the light bulb. I don't understand that, Russ, but could you explain that, Russ? I never wore a mask, went to the local shop 2 times a day to see a friend. No shifts. No shits. Yes, and we have to be like that the next time. The next time they recommend something, we have to say no. My Eliquis was £50 a month. What is that exactly? We have different names for medication here in Britain. £50 a month, even with the insurance. Joined a program, a pharmaceutical company that makes it now, and it's significantly lower. Effexor and gabapentin, very cheap by comparison, about £5. Effexor, these are drugs you should not be taking unless you should only take drugs like that at night once a week or something as like a treat. As a treat. What is Effexor and gabapentin? What are those drugs? I'm saying stay away from them and stay away from garlic and onions. They're antibacterial things, garlic and onion, which, you know, we need our guts to be as good. Leave our guts alone. Stop drugging our guts. I haven't gotten to the point where I can chew a whole clove of garlic you've gotten to the point. I've not gotten to the point where you can't chew, where you can chew a whole clove of garlic every half hour for 4 hours once a week. Why do these shows get so good right at the end? Right at the end, they get so good, Lewis. Russ was suggesting that his girlfriend was so fat that when he was on top of her, his bum was high as the light bulb on the ceiling. Okay. That's all. That is what I thought it was, but I wasn't 100% sure, but I did think that. Okay, listen to everybody. We should discuss medications. at the 11 o'clock show. Why don't we discuss that? We'll discuss medications and what an absolute waste they are. I used to buy an Alapril, 50, 60 pounds a month back in the day, when I was in my 30s. Eliquis is to prevent blood clots, pulmonary embolism. Effexor are for mood and anxiety. Yeah, well, you should stop taking those pills too. But when you do, read about how to get off of them, because some of them are like impossible to get off of. You got to basically titrate. You got to cut off tiny little wedges. So this has been a great show. I want to thank everybody for being here. Can you do me a favor? Can you like and subscribe? Like and subscribe. Let me see how many people have liked and subscribed. We'll go over here. How many of you have liked and subscribed? Come here. Let me just check. How many people have liked and subscribed? Hold on a second. Hold on. So we've got 31 watching and 28 people have liked this. That's a good number. That's a really good number. Let's look at the analytics. Can we look at the analytics? And we'll see how many viewers we've had watching. Paul C is here. Hi, Lewis. What's your thought about chicken soup? I mean, there are worse things than chicken soup, but there are better things than chicken soup. Better things than chicken soup, but it is good. If it's made with love, it's good, Paul C. Thank you very much for coming. Where are you from? Are you fat? So can you see this here? Can you see this? This is how many people are watching. We've had basically we've had 30 for the entire show. 30 show. It's good. It's good. I'm telling you, we're don't die. The best thing you can do for not dying is eat meat and a low carb diet. Okay? I'm gonna say a prayer. What should our prayer be on? Anybody? What could our prayer be on? Suffering from COVID, jabs, dandelion tea roots, any part of a dandelion will help you remove the spike protein. I don't believe that. Roots and leaves and stuff like that are not good for you. They're not good, whether it's a dandelion or not. Okay, bacon is better than chicken, but beef is the best. That's what I believe. But you have your own thing. Night. Before I'm going to say a prayer. Dear Lord, can somebody recommend what our prayer should be on? Dear Lord, give us the strength to keep on questioning everything, because we know that they are lying to us. You have placed them on this world to lie to us, to test our beliefs and faith. The COVID report is a total lie. We know that. And we love you, dear Lord, for testing us, for making us question the world. We thank you for that. But please, Lord, please make it a bit easier for us to question more so that we can be healthy. And dear Lord, please let me, and I'm speaking for myself, you can speak for yourself and yourself too, because we all give advice. You've given us the ability to give our loved ones and friends advice. To give the advice that's good advice, that I'm being good and that I'm helping people get well. I believe that I'm helping people to get well. Please help me to distinguish what is good advice and bad advice so we can all get well. Okay? And then here's a request. From Paul C., 1963. Please, Lord, help us to create peace and love in this world. Help us to be more peace and loving. Help us to be peace and loving. Amen. Okay, was that okay? Whatever is good for the powers that be, Kermit, will not be good for us. That is a given these days. They are not on our side. I would say, maybe that's a bit paranoid, but I think that's right, Kermit. Let us work for peace and love. Let us work for peace and love, dear Lord. Help us to have the energy to work for peace and love. Everybody, if you wanna make a contribution to the stream to keep it going, go to Ko-fi.com .com or go to Patreon at Lewis Schaffer. It's there. Or PayPal. It's appreciated. I'm not sure I'm a believer in it. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna circle PH. I do not, from what I've read, I don't believe in it. But I'm gonna say this to you, Donna. I'm gonna keep on looking at it. You can't reject anything. You shouldn't reject what I'm saying to you. Say, oh, you know what? I haven't heard anybody say that before. I'm going to look it up. Or maybe I'm going to say, okay, I've heard other people say that. I'm going to look it up. Basically. I mean, I think our pH can be affected by a high carb, high sugary, high potato, high bread diet. I'll take paranoid over fooled. Kermit, 100% agree. 100% agree. Like they say, it's easier to fool a man than to tell a man he's been fooled. So if you believe you've been fooled, then you're a step ahead of the average person. So a round of applause for everybody. Let's say goodbye to Joe and Paul and Keith and Donna and Kate and Dark Arts Dave and MC Scott and Marianne. Okay? Thank you very much to Janet and to Joe and to Kate and to Marianne, of course. Thank you for Trucker from Reno. From Andrew Rubin, I didn't even see you there, but thank you for coming in. My eyes are not as good as they were. Can you tell? I'm like sitting here like that. But I think you can fix your own eyes. Claire, brilliant. I'm going to thank Kate again. Kate is here. Let's hope that Joodles comes back someday. I hope she comes back. I'm quite fond of Joodles. I'm quite fond of Lucy. They're a bit mad at me because of other things that I have said that they think I'm not loving or something like that. Alan was really helpful today's show. Thank you, Alan. I stay away from the statins, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't listen to your doctor. You want to listen to your doctor, you go ahead and listen to your doctor. Marianne, again, brilliant. Marianne, again, brilliant. Check out the medication you're paying for, especially the stuff that increases your mood. Let's get happy on our own. 25 degrees here in this room. Janet, did I say thank you? So Tulipa came in. You are late. You're after the show is over. You're after the show. We'll see you tomorrow. And thank you, Kermit. Everybody, thank you. We'll see you at 10:30 tonight, not 9:30, at 10:30. We will see you. Everybody go on Twitter if you can. Can you see the Twitter thing? Go on Twitter. Okay. Go on Twitter. See, you're a believer in medicine. Apple cider and ground up pearl dust. You believe in medicine, Donna, and I'm trying to avoid all pills, all medicines. Alan, Bye, lovely. I'm gonna end the stream in about 2 minutes, and then you can go to Discord. Go to Discord. Do you, if you need this? I'm against medicine, Donna. You're in favor of medicine. Homeopathic medicine is a form of medicine. It's like giving something that's going to do something to somebody's body. Like, ooh, give dandelion root. I'm saying, but they could make money out of it. It's still pharma, whether it's big pharma or little pharma. I'm against pharma. So but I can see how you could believe that. I know you think it works, but I can believe it. Okay, I'll see you later, everybody. If I believed in medicine, I don't believe in medicine. All right, I love you all. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for coming in.